To Colin Taylor, and a heck of a start for the Cleveland Gladiators in this one before New Orleans has even touched the football. The Gladiators have come out and they've set the tone with a play like that.
And it's a big tone that they set because now you're already behind the 8 ball. You look at the clock if you're a VooDoo player and you're thinking 30 seconds in, or a minute and a half in rather, we're down 7-0, first play of the game. So they've got to try and respond here, but the crowd's already feeling it. They're already into it. They've been into it since last night, I think.
And if
some people slept here.
If you're this exactly, if you're this New Orleans offense that's about to come on the field, you take note of that because the Gladiators offense just said, all right, you guys are going to have to match us punch for punch, and now New Orleans offense is already going to feel a little bit of pressure before they even get on the field.
And look, they've struggled to score points this year. There's no question. They're not a very good team, and the record indicates that. So I think the Gladiators got to do a good job here. He talked about Coach Dunn talked about getting that pressure. Again, let them know early in the game.
Down to our left is Adrian Trevino to kick it. Down to our right is the return man for New Orleans. And that is, well, they listed as Johnny Lester, but it's not Johnny Lester. That's the former Gladiator, Carlise Franklin, and he's going to have a clean return. Out of the end zone he comes, veers left, and well, he'll be taken down around the 6-yard line. He's knocked over by Donnie Fletcher in there on special teams. 13-19 left here in the first, and 7-0 Gladiators on top of the New Orleans VooDoo. And that'll bring the New Orleans offense onto the field. Subway starting lineups offensively for New Orleans. Brian Reeder's the quarterback. Kevin Ashak the fullback. The receivers are Chris Duval, KJ Stroud, and Roger Jackson. The offensive line, Leonardo Bates, RJ Bibbs, Cornelius Dixon. Will get to the Gladiators defense here in just a moment. First down and 10 for New Orleans. They're going right to left, and they're back on their own 6-yard line. Two receivers right side. Reeder throws, picked off. Dominic Jones to the end zone. Touchdown Gladiators. But we have a flag down on the field around the 6-yard line.
Oh, that's exactly what you want, getting Dominic Jones back into action. First play, pick 6.
And he's missed the last 3 games.
Yes, he has, and they've missed him desperately.
This looks like could go against the defense of the Gladiators, though, based on the body language of the folks on the field.
The defense, the MAC linebacker was moving forward at the snap. Number 49, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So they get Tim Cheatwood for an illegal formation penalty. Meanwhile, in comes Randy Calling. He'll be in on the defensive line. He's been out with an injury. And take a look who's lined up at Jack linebacker right now, the backup quarterback, Chris Deeker. And he has played some Jack linebacker in practice this season and last season if his number ever had to be called. And
he doesn't look like a Jack linebacker, but he is more athletic than people want to believe.
Brian Reeder, a throw over the middle, and this one hauled in by Duval, who's tackled violently by Dominic Jones. And that will be a New Orleans first down. The one thing about Chris Deeker, he's got a long reach and he's got a lot of height, so he takes up a lot of space out there. Subway starting lineups defensively for the Gladiators. Jeremy Richardson, Anthony DeGreat, Willie McGinnis on the line. Tim Cheatwood, the MAC linebacker. We've got Chris Deeker. In at Jack linebacker, Dominic Jones, Fred Shaw, Donnie Fletcher are the defensive backs to start the game.
Remember, Reeder's relatively new starting quarterback for them. They had Kennedy going early in the year. He started last week, but see if he's got some jitters.
Rear left side, and that one falls incomplete off the outstretched fingertips of Roger Jackson, and incomplete into the Gladiators bench. So up comes second down and 10. New Orleans back at their own 19-yard line. They picked up one first down. They also got a little bit of second life on this drive after a Gladiators penalty.
Yeah, boy, could you imagine it had that pick 6?
That's one of those.
Stood. I mean, that's a killer.
You know, it's a long game, but that could have been one of those plays that really sets the team back for the duration. Now here come the VooDoo again. Reeder a throw, and it's off the fingertips of the intended man off the line. That was Kevin Ashak, the fullback. He was unable to reel it in, and that'll bring up third down and 10 for the New Orleans VooDoo. And as far as New Orleans goes this season, on third down, dead last in the Arena Football League, converting just 39.2% of the time on third down.
I like that call on second down. The Gladiators are trying to get pressure. They try and catch them off guard with a little slip screen to one of their big offensive linemen, and they can't execute.
10:43 left, first quarter, 7-0 Gladiators in front, 2 receivers left side. Reeder, the quarterback, has some time, throws. Duval has it, goes right up the sidelines, trying to cut back out to the center of the field and was taken down inside the 10-yard line. Fred Shaw got a piece of him. A nice play there for the VooDoo as Reeder had some time to find a man, and he found the receiver on the New Orleans side who's been the best this season. That's Chris Duval, who came in with a team-leading 561 yards. Looks like we have a penalty call.
Illegal defense. Number 96, outside rush. That penalty has been declined.
Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we got the gist of it. Illegal defense, illegal formation. They got Randy calling for the infraction, so now it's going to be first and goal.
Yeah, 2 penalties now on this drive that have kept it alive for the VooDoo.
First and goal from the 10 coming. KJ Stroud set to be the motion man for New Orleans. And he'll make it 3 receivers on the left side. Reeder tosses one to the end zone, too far and incomplete. Caught by the man in the green polo in the front row. He'll be taking home that souvenir. 10:03 to go in this first quarter. 7-0 Gladiators. And again, the VooDoo go to second down.
Good defense there by Donnie Fletcher, playing the slot position, one of the most difficult positions in the arena game, playing against the man who's at full speed before he even gets to you. And was able to do a good job at the back of the end zone.
Once again, looks like 3 receivers left side and Stroud the motion man. Reeder with pressure coming, gets a pass up, and Ashak couldn't hang on then. He took a hard lick from Chris Deeker. Knocked him flat on his back. Chris Deeker absolutely leveled the much thicker fullback, Kevin Ashak. And if there was anybody in the building wondering if Chris Deeker can play jack linebacker, he certainly threw a hit like a linebacker.
What a hit at the end of this play. They somehow sneak Ashak just out of the backfield.
Number 4 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
They sneak him out of the backfield, and he's wide open. He's going to walk into the end zone easily for a touchdown for New Orleans. He just loses his concentration. And look, maybe he felt the footsteps of Deeker coming over, because Deeker laid, as you mentioned, Doug, an enormous hit on him that decleated him, essentially. And here's the thing that you wonder. I know there's a penalty there, but that's sort of a tone-setting play with the hit from Deeker.
Certainly is. And now here's a handoff, and this one brought up the middle by the fullback in on this sequence, Roosevelt Falls. And it didn't work out for him. Picked up maybe a yard or 2 before he's brought down. That's going to bring up 3rd and goal. Now, 3 Gladiators penalties taken on this drive defensively, so hopefully just some jitters and guys who are just really excited to play the game.
Yeah.
As Ashak comes back in at fullback. 3rd and goal from the 3, so it's a 2-yard pickup for Falls. Once again to 3rd down, the VooDoo.
And take a timeout.
And with that, it looks like they are going to use a timeout. So New Orleans uses their first timeout of the game. You mentioned Dominic Jones coming back in after a 3-game absence. And your former defensive back, he's coming in off injury, and he plays a heavy game out there and likes to throw his body around. What's the best way for a guy like him to get himself back into the groove after missing a few weeks?
Hit somebody. and I think you saw it a couple plays ago when he was able to put a lick on someone. And look, he was able to have that pick 6. I know it didn't count, but he's going to remember that. And I think it's a confidence builder for him to be able to make a play early in the game. You're always anxious, you're always nervous to get back out there as a player. But once the first hit happens, the ball's kicked off and you get into the game, you sort of forget about all those pregame jitters that you had. And, we're glad to have him back out there in the secondary because he just wasn't the same. The no-fly zone was the fly zone. They were able to obviously get some touchdowns deep and attack our secondary, which has been a strength of this team for the last 2 seasons. And they're led by him, so he's the heart and soul of that defense. It's great to have him back out there on the field.
3rd and goal from the 3, and the VooDoo, once again, they're knocking on the door. And Brian Reeder has 2 receivers to his left. Reeder takes a long look left. Now he has to get away from Willie McGinnis, throws right, and that one's through the hands of Carlise Franklin. We've got flags down in the backfield, a couple of them.
Yeah, R.J. Bibbs just absolutely mugs and tackles McGinnis in the backfield. It's going to be a holding penalty that's coming back.
Number 33, That penalty's been declined. 4th down.
Or just
So they're going to
penalty.
force him to 4th down, forcing the New Orleans offense to make a play. And it was a penalty that was taken that probably prevented a sack and probably prevented the quarterback Reeder from taking a pretty heavy hit.
Now, interesting call here, interesting decision for the Glads to decline the penalty. Remember, they're at the 3-yard line, but I always feel like it becomes more difficult inside the 5 to get in the end zone for whatever reason. And now you wonder if they're going to run the football or trying to pass it to the end zone.
3 receivers left side, Reeder on 4th and goal. He throws, and it's caught by a wide-open man in the back of the end zone. Reeled in by the wide receiver, Roger Jackson. He barreled over one of our on-field officials as well to make that catch, and now the VooDoo pulls to within a point. Wasn't as smooth as the one-play Gladiators drive, but they got the job done.
No, it wasn't, and he nearly takes out an official in the back of the end zone. In fact, the official may have helped him catch the football because it allowed him to put his elbow on it to bring the football in, but they're back in it.
And now here's Garrett Lindholm on for the extra point, and his boot is up and through. So with 7:10 left in the first, the Gladiators and VooDoo tied up 7-7. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox, you're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back inside the Q, 7-7 between the Gladiators and the New Orleans VooDoo as each team managed to score on their first drive. Bring your group of 10 or more to the Q to experience Gladiators football. Group tickets start at only $10 and include exclusive perks. For details, 216-420-2500 or visit clevelandgladiators.com. Gladiators football is presented by Unique Home Solutions. So the Gladiators had a one-play scoring drive. New Orleans went back down the field. Brian Reeder was 3 of 7, 32 yards and a touchdown, but they managed to tie things up. Roger Jackson, a 3-yard touchdown catch. Gladiators, 3 penalties defensively on that New Orleans drive.
Killed him. Took away a touchdown and was able to give him a couple extra plays.
Here's the kickoff from Lindholm. Down it goes to our left, and it's not going to be returnable. Bounced off a couple of fans in the front row and went back onto the field. So the Gladiators, offensively, ready to get going here. We didn't get a chance to go through the Subway starting lineups as far as that New Orleans defense is concerned. So defensively for the New Orleans VooDoo, the defensive line, Benji McDowell, Wayne Dorsey, James McClinton, the MAC linebackers, Roosevelt Falls, Cameron McGlenn, the Jack linebacker, Tracy Belton, Cortez Stubbs, and Rayshon Kaiser make up the secondary for New Orleans. 6:48 to go. First quarter, 7-7 the score. 3 receivers right side, a dump off to Taylor over the 5-yard line on first down and 10. Maybe got to the line of scrimmage. Not much further than that as he was stopped on the near side by Kaiser. 6:35 to go. First quarter. Game tied at 7. 2 passes for Shane Austin, and each one has gone to Colin Taylor.
Right there on that play, they're just trying to set up a little screen outside to Colin Taylor. And Goody, they want to use him as a blocker. He's from the high motion position, and he misses the block, trying to give the block on it was maybe Cortez Stubbs out there playing the cornerback spot, and no gain.
So 2 receivers left side, second down for the Gladiators. Austin drops back to the end zone, throws over the middle, caught by Dominic Goodman around the 17-yard line, cuts up the left side, took a hard hit as he's dumped over by Tracy Belton. But a good pickup for the Gladiators. There's a flag down around the line of scrimmage, back around the 5-yard line or so.
I think this is going to go against New Orleans, and he's looking over to Coach Tunn, and Coach Tunn saying decline.
Good pickup for the Gladiators.
Personal foul. Hands in the face on the defense, number 2. That penalty decline, down.
So a hands to the face penalty, and that's going to result in a first down for the Gladiators, but looks like they're going to take the pickup from Dominic Goodman.
I mentioned Goody struggled to get a block on Cortez Stubbs on that previous play. Well, he comes out here and he catches a pass over the middle, and then he makes Cortez Stubbs lose a little something as he jukes him out of his shoes to pick up the first down.
5:39 left here in the first, game tied 7-7. 2 receivers right side, Taylor in motion. Austin looks ahead for Taylor, now tosses it left, but it's intended for Amari Jackson. Didn't arrive to Amari Jackson. It falls incomplete, second down and 10. Gladiators back their own 23-yard line, going left to right. Gladiators in their black and red camo themed jerseys on military salute night here at the Q tonight. 5:13 left here in the first, 7-7 the score. Shane Austin gets the message from the huddle with the play clock at 20. Gladiators break the huddle. 2 receivers right side. It's Goodman with Taylor on the inside. Amari Jackson looks like he's headed over that way to join them. 1 man in the backfield, it's Manley. Dropping back, Austin. Austin on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, it's caught by Goodman. He takes a hit from Kaiser, who knocked him down inside the 13-yard line. A good grab for Dominic Goodman. Stopped in his tracks, but a first down for the Gladiators.
It was a great grab by Goody over the middle. He knew he was going to take a shot from Kaiser. Good awareness by him because he knows he's going to go low, and that's a dangerous play. A lot of times, guys you'll see get injured right there in that situation because Kaiser's trying to essentially go for his thigh boards, and Goody – Goody's so good at catching the football over the middle, especially with contact.
2 receivers right side. Austin on 1st and 10 from the New Orleans 13 and didn't see any options, so he tossed it out of bounds. And that'll be an incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 on the way.
Well, they're trying to set up a little screen here to the offensive lineman, C.J. Cobb, but he's going to get held. He's going to get held by Benji McDowell, one of the defensive linemen for the VooDoo, and I'm not sure that could have been a defensive holding penalty because he just wouldn't let Cobb out of his grasp. And that's why Shane Austin had nowhere to go with the football.
No call, and that'll force the Gladiators to 2nd down and 10. They're on the New Orleans 13. In motion is Amari Jackson, who had a big game last week. Austin drops back, takes a look right, pumps, throws. Caught by Goodman, and he'll trot into the end zone. Touchdown, Gladiators. A 13-yard touchdown pass from Austin to Goodman. We do have a flag down around the 18-yard line.
Holding offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
So they get P.K. Manley on the holding penalty, and what hindered the Gladiators defensively is carried over to the offense now because that's a holding penalty that may have cost the Gladiators 6 points. Now it's going to be 2nd and 20.
That's 2 touchdowns now that the Gladiators could have that have been taken off the board.
3:09 remaining here in the first. 2nd and 20. Gladiators backed up to the New Orleans 23. 2 receivers left side. Amari Jackson, the lone man on the right. Austin has time. Over the middle. Caught by Goodman in space at the 10. Cuts to the 5. Wrapped up and torn down around the 4-yard line or so by Cortez Stubbs. First down for the Gladiators. Actually, they may be about a yard short of the first down. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be 3rd down and 1, so they picked up 19 of the 20 yards that they needed for the first down. So here come the Gladiators on 3rd down. This season on 3rd down, they're 10th in the league, 43.9%. So 2 teams in this one who haven't had a ton of 3rd down success on the campaign. 2 receivers right side. Now make it 2 to the left as Taylor heads over in motion. 3rd down and 1. Austin calls his own number, takes it to the end zone. Touchdown, Shane Austin, the quarterback from 4 yards out, and the Gladiators are on top 13-7.
Love the play call from Steve Tunn. A little quarterback sweep, design run for Shane Austin to come around the outside, and he's going to get a great block from Jeremy Richardson, the fullback, who really sets the edge and is able to allow Shane Austin to cut up underneath the block and get into the end zone.
13-7 Gladiators. Shane Austin carried the ball twice for 20 yards last week, and we've seen that in his arsenal. He's not afraid to take off.
No, absolutely not.
Now Trevino on for the extra point try. 13-7 Gladiators in front. Here's the snap, the hold. It's down, and the kick from Trevino is straight through. 14-7 Gladiators, 1:25 left here in the first. We'll be right back, folks, as the Gladiators are taking a lead. You're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back inside Quicken Loans Arena here in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. 1:25 to go here in the first. 14-7 Gladiators out in front of the New Orleans VooDoo so far in tonight's game. Shane Austin is 5 for 7, 87 yards through the air, and a touchdown pass. He also has a rushing touchdown, a 4-yard rushing touchdown, capped off that last Gladiators drive. And, well, that's why the Gladiators lead 14-7 at this point, scoring on each of their first 2 possessions. New Orleans scored on their first possession as well, and they're set to get the ball back here in just a moment. Shane Austin, a 4-yard rushing score. Had 2 carries last week for 20 yards. So we have some veterans being honored here on the field here at the Q. Military Salute Night, an annual event. Gladiators are wearing red and black camo-themed jerseys for the occasion.
I like them.
Yeah, nice-looking jerseys.
Very cool jerseys. It's cool they do this here at the Q. You know, they've got T-shirts they're selling at the team shop with proceeds going to the right places, and it's a special night here at the Q.
And 1:25 remains here in the opening quarter. 14-7, the Gladiators out in front. This is the first game on the Arena Football schedule for the week. Gladiators, of course, fell to Jacksonville in this building 1 week ago. New Orleans is coming off an 8-point loss to the Arizona Rattlers, who are playing without their top quarterback, Nick Davila, at the moment, out with an injury, but still rolling along, picking up wins. As we get ready to get back to the action with Adrian Trevino, set to kick it away here in just a moment for the Gladiators. And the roar you're hearing from the crowd right now for a World War II veteran. Wow. On the field here at Quicken Loans Arena. Down to our right to return for the New Orleans VooDoo, Carlise Franklin. Franklin had a couple of seasons here in Cleveland.
Yeah, nice player for the Gladiators.
Some of that as a return man. There was, of course, the game when Adrian Petrie was injured, or Aaron Petrie was injured, and Carlise Franklin came in and was the kicker.
Didn't go well.
He filled in.
1:25
to go in the first quarter.
That's a nice way to put it, Doug.
Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, I mean.
And he did.
Let's be honest. I mean, it wasn't like.
He's one of those guys who will fill any role out there on the field.
Yes.
Anywhere you need him to play, and he plays hard. Trevino down to our left, the kick down to our right. An all-around good guy, too. Carlise Franklin will take that one off the net. And out he comes from the end zone to the 10-yard line. He's got one man to beat now. Franklin is caught up to, though, and taken down as Fred Shaw was able to run him down, but Franklin able to return that one out to about the 20-yard line of the Gladiators. So some very good starting field position here for the New Orleans VooDoo. They'll spot the ball at the 21-yard line as the VooDoo offense makes its way back on.
Yeah, that thing parted like the Red Sea. It was a huge lane for him to run through, and luckily for us, Fred Shaw runs him down from the backside as Franklin cut back across the field. But nonetheless, they've got excellent field position to start this drive.
And Franklin right in there as the motion receiver on this setup. Three receivers right side. Reeder 1st and 10 from the Gladiators 21. We've got flags in the secondary as Reeder takes off and then takes a hard hit from Tim Cheatwood after he was able to escape Chris Deeker. Could be a pickup of a few, but we'll see what the penalty is. Flag down around the 9-yard line. 39.9 on the clock, first quarter. 14-7 Gladiator.
Defense.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, but it's an illegal formation call against the Gladiators defense. And unfortunately, I believe penalty number 4 against the Gladiators defense in the game so far. That'll make it 1st down and 5. So the New Orleans offense down to the 16-yard line, and they haven't really had to do anything for any of this yet. It was the big return from Franklin and then the 5-yard penalty. Reeder, 3 of 7 throwing the ball on his first drive, so it wasn't as crisp as he would have liked to see it, but they did finish that first drive with a touchdown. 3 receivers right side, 1 man in the backfield. Reeder on 1st and 5. The throw, and this time it is reeled in by the fullback, Kevin Ashak, and he'll take it down inside the 10-yard line. 19 seconds left in quarter number 1. 14-7, it's the Gladiators in front of the New Orleans VooDoo. Now it's the 3rd time they've gone to Ashak through the air. First time he's come down with the ball. And it looks like they're going to run it right down to the end of the quarter. Yep. So 14-7 Gladiators through 1, and New Orleans knocking on the door, 1st and goal when we come back to begin the second stanza here from downtown Cleveland. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox with you. Some Medical Mutual first quarter stats when we come back. Folks, you're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. Time for the second quarter here from the Q14-7 Gladiators in front of New Orleans. First and goal. It looks like second down and 4, as a matter of fact, from the 9-yard line. They'll need the 5-yard line for the first down. Some Medical Mutual stats here in just a moment. 3 receivers right side. Reeder with pressure coming from Dominic Jones, and it's picked off by Tim Cheatwood inside the 10-yard line. Now we've got a flag on the field. And you hope this one's not going to be reversed. It was a batted ball that Cheatwood was able to find, and Dominic Jones put on the pressure. And funny, somewhat of a role reversal, because normally it's Cheatwood pressuring the quarterback and Jones intercepting the pass. That time, the other way around. And the Gladiators defense is staying on the field, which isn't usually a good sign. The Gladiators seem to be pleading a case, and usually you can tell by body language what the outcome's going to be. And we hate to keep counting the penalties, but I believe this would be number 5 against the Gladiators defense in the game, and the second one that would prevent an interception.
Illegal defense. Number 2, blitzed on the play. After this is a goal, automatic first down.
Well, that's the reason why the pressure got there.
It's the reason why the interception was thrown.
You mentioned Dominic Jones was in the face of Reeder. Well, there's a reason why, and that's your penalty. But you're right, Doug. That is the 5th penalty on the Glad's defense tonight, and they've all been costly. You think about, there's been a couple of touchdowns taken off the board. You've had now an interception taken off the board. They've got to clean things up a little bit.
And now it's first and goal from the 5, the New Orleans offense. 3 receivers to the right. Brian Reeder, the quarterback, with pressure coming, gets the pass away, and this one to nobody, incomplete. He took a hard hit from Willie McGinnis, and Reeder,
slow getting up.
Quarterback out of Idaho, being peeled off the turf with 14:20 left in quarter number 2. 14-7. Gladiators with the lead, and the problem with the penalties is you give the New Orleans VooDoo maybe some extra confidence. You let their drive keep going along, and now here they are, second and goal from the 5. New Orleans trying to cash in. Reeder is 4 for 9. 3 receivers to the right. Franklin in motion. Reeder, flags all over the place, and this one's not even going to take off. Some discussion between Dominic Jones and members of the New Orleans offense. And we'll go back to field level.
Offsides, high motion man. 10 penalty, still third down.
So that time it's a penalty against the New Orleans offense. Bradley Brunet's the referee. Jeff Carnes the umpire. Mark Bennett the head linesman. Paul Engelbart's the line judge. The back judge is Thomas Works. Some Medical Mutual statistics after that first quarter. Shane Austin 5 for 7, 87 yards and a touchdown. He's also got a rushing touchdown. Colin Taylor leading the Gladiators receiving game with 37 yards and a touchdown. 3 receivers right side for the New Orleans VooDoo. Reeder, 2nd and 15, throws end zone. Franklin has it against the end boards. Caught, touchdown New Orleans. 15 yards out to the former Gladiator, Carlise Franklin.
And that one's just going to be on Dominic Jones. He's tapping his chest saying, that one's on me, fellas. And it was. He's matched up with Franklin in the slot. Tough spot to be in. Franklin gets that full speed ahead motion, and he just runs that skinny post across the middle, and Dominic just got caught behind it.
Early second quarter, 12:50 left in the frame. Here's the extra point try from Lindholm. It's up and through, so we're all square at 14. Early in the second quarter. 12:45 to go in the second quarter. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox will be right back to the queue after this. You're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. 12:45 left here in the second. 14-14, Gladiators and the New Orleans VooDoo. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox here with you. And Dustin, interesting game so far because if you just saw the way the two teams have moved down the field, you'd say the Gladiators look like the better team tonight, but New Orleans has managed to hang around to this point.
Yeah, they've hung around. They've done a good job. They've been efficient with their drives. And look, the Gladiators haven't done themselves any favors either. I mean, they've killed themselves with penalties. They've allowed the VooDoo to escape a pick six and another interception there that would have been costly that was taken off the board because Tim Cheatwood ended up with one, but it was negated by an illegal defense call.
12:45 to go here in the second. 14-14 is the score. The Gladiators at 4-3, New Orleans at 2-5 on the season. Down to our right is Amari Jackson to return. He's been the primary return man for the Gladiators each of the last 3 games, and he's been on a tear really lately for the Gladiators. Led all receivers last week with 135 yards and 3 touchdowns. Lindholm to kick it off. Down to our right is Amari Jackson. Fields it cleanly in the end zone. Up the near side, 10-yard line on his feet, 20-yard line and around midfield. Bumped into the sideboards here on the near side. And with 12:36 to go in the second, the game tied at 14. Here's the Gladiators offense back onto the turf. Folks, get Gladiators score updates, special promotions, and breaking news sent directly to your phone. Text Gladiators to 720-720. Text message and data rates may apply. Gladiators football is presented by Unique Home Solutions. Spot right at midfield. Good return for Jackson. Amari Jackson, back-to-back 100-yard games. Line up here on the near side at receiver for the Gladiators is Andy Cruz. 2 receivers right side, and we've got movement on the line. And
it's a little overzealous there by McClinton.
That was James McClinton, the nose tackle out of Kansas.
Contact. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
He jumps the gun, but he doesn't pull back at all. He runs right through
Palmgren and then...
Yeah, and Shane Austin, I think, ends up on his back, too.
11:55 to go here in the second. 14-14 now. To the New Orleans 20 go the Gladiators. They're moving right to left. 2 receivers right side. Taylor in motion. He's the slot man on that right side. Austin with some time. He'll throw over the middle. Caught by Cruz to the 10-yard line, and he's taken down around the 8-yard line. Rayshon Kaiser in there on the stop for New Orleans. So it'll be a first down for the Gladiators. First and goal from the 8 coming as they get Cruz in the mix.
Boy, nice pickup by Cruz over the middle, but if Shane Austin was looking down the middle of the field, he had Colin Taylor wide open. He put a serious move on Cortez Stubbs, the safety for the VooDoo, but he's unable to see him. But look, you never want to discredit a pickup like that, but Colin Taylor ran a heck of a route.
2 receivers left side. Taylor's in motion. First and goal from the 8. Austin left side for Taylor. And around the 6-yard line, he's met by a trio of New Orleans defenders led by Tracy Belton. He's forced to the sideboard. So pickup of 2 yards for Taylor. That'll bring up second down and goal with 10:52 to go here in the second quarter. From the Q. Celebrate your birthday in style at a Gladiators game. Birthday packages include a visit from a mascot Rudy, special ticket discounts, much more. For details, 216-420-2500. Visit clevelandgladiators.com or any Northern Ohio discount drug mart. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions. Second and goal from the 6. 10.5 minutes to go here in the second. 14-14 is the score. 2 receivers lined up to the right of Shane Austin. Austin takes a look to that right side, and it's too high for Dominic Goodman, and on a play, incomplete. Third and goal from the 6.
Dangerous throw between 2 defenders to try to get Goody on that far sideline. The good thing about that throw was he threw it high enough that it was only going to be caught by Goody, or it was going to go to a fan in the stands, and they lived to fight another down.
And that time it went to the man in the Cincinnati Bearcats sweatshirt who was very excited to be taking home that souvenir.
Very excited to be going home with the football.
2 receivers right side. Make it 3 as Taylor's in motion. Goodman, a Cincinnati alum himself, wide to the right. A throw over the middle, and it's behind the intended man, Taylor, and incomplete. And heavy hit late on Shane Austin that time by Bernard Smith off that defensive line. All 6'3", 270 of him came right through.
And very, very close to being intercepted by Falls, the middle linebacker there, Roosevelt Falls.
Kaiser was right in the neighborhood, too. And the Gladiators, as you said earlier, live to fight another down, but this is going to be the final down because it's 4th and goal from the 6-yard line.
You got to get one in the end zone here. They really haven't bit a turnover yet.
3 receivers right side. Cruz in motion. Austin on 4th down. Over the middle, and it's caught by Dominic Goodman. A touchdown on 4th down, and the Gladiators are back in front. A 6-yard touchdown strike, and that was a bullet from Shane Austin.
Whenever you get into a tough situation, when you're Shane Austin, you know to look for number 16, and that's Dominic Goodman. He just runs that little shake route where he comes up, puts a little move on the defensive back, and he slides inside, uses his body right between the hash marks, and Shane Austin puts it right between his numbers for a touchdown.
Here's Trevino on for the extra point try, looking to make it a 7-point game once again. The hold put down by Deeker. The kick from Trevino is straight through. 21-14 Gladiators, 8:19 to go here in the second. 21-14 Gladiators with the lead. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox will be right back. You're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back to the Q. 8:19 left here in the second. 21-14 Gladiators in front of the New Orleans VooDoo. Doug Plagans and Dustin Fox here with you. Adrian Trevino to kick it away from our right down to our left. And a big touchdown there for the Gladiators to get one on 4th down and regain the lead. You don't want to give up possession here in the first half when you're the home team.
No, that was a huge touchdown for the Glads there, especially on 4th down to be able to come through with that. You're right, Doug. I mean, a little bit of turnover on downs and would have shifted that serve, as I like to call it. I always make the tennis reference to arena football.
A 6-yard touchdown catch from Dominic Goodman capped off that last drive. Here's Trevino. A booming kick down to our left, and this one off the bottom bar. Live ball around the 1-yard line, and Carlise Franklin will sprawl on it. The arena football veteran making a veteran play there to just get down on top of the football because, again, if there's a ball on the turf in the AFL, you just have to assume that thing is live until you hear a whistle, and that time Franklin got on it. Going to be a long field, though, for the VooDoo here. They started off their own 1-yard line left to right. Potentially a dangerous play for the VooDoo. And that's why it's so important to get those kickoffs to the net, because you never know what kind of carom there could be.
That's right. It's a live football. Essentially, you could get like an onside kick by being lucky.
2 receivers to the right make it 3. Dropping back is Reeder. He's going to throw it to the safest option, Roger Jackson, here on the near side for a pickup of 7 or 8. He's bumped out of bounds by Fred Shaw, but they get a little bit of breathing room. That'll bring up 2nd down, and good spot for New Orleans there as they get a 9-yard pickup. 2nd down and 1 coming for the VooDoo. a New Orleans team we've seen run one run play in the game so far, 11 pass plays. Two receivers to the left of Reeder. Jackson in motion wide to the left, and a handoff. Ashak can't hang on to it, and the Gladiators have it. A fumble, and it's into the arms of Tim Cheatwood.
I think
right around the 10-yard line, he's got it.
I think it was Anthony DeGreat who comes in there with the pressure, is able to strip that football, and looks like big Tim Cheatwood, one of my ex-teammates at Ohio State, is going to end up with the football.
He got on top of it in a hurry, and now the Gladiators looking at 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Won't even need the down markers on this drive.
Now the key here, Doug, is you got to score quick. If I'm Coach Steve Tunn, I'm taking a shot right to the end zone here and trying to put some points on the board. They call it sudden change. You got to take advantage of it as an offense.
Two receivers right side, Austin, and this one is a handoff, and it's plowed ahead by P.K. Manley. Pickup of maybe 4 yards on the play. Took that whole line of scrimmage right with him. Down to the 6-yard line.
Took like
Second
5 dudes to get him on the ground.
There were a lot of people.
Yes, there were.
Along for the ride on that one.
A lot of bodies.
Humanity.
Everywhere.
5:58 to go in the second. 21-14 is the score. 3 receivers right side. Gladiators looking to make it a 2-score game for the first time tonight. Austin looking to the end zone perhaps this time. Escapes, and he's going to take a run up the left side. He's hit hard along the boards on the near side. Touchdown, Gladiators.
Will probably come back due to an offensive hold, I believe, Doug. But a good scramble by Shane Austin to step up in the pocket and show some athleticism.
And again, he showed that willingness to take a hit.
Yes, he did.
And sometimes last season, you know, we wondered if there were times he was doing that a little bit too much for Steve Tunn's liking.
10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So they're going to repeat the down. It was a penalty against the Gladiators. Will be second down. Now, that's an interesting point because we talked about it a lot last season. Shane Austin, you like his willingness to take a hit. If you're the head coach, Steve Tunn, where's that line where – because – every quarterback, you know, you have to have that gamer mentality where you're willing to take a hit to get in the end zone, and you love seeing that out of Shane. 3 receivers right side. Dropping back, Shane Austin over the middle, caught by Goodman around the 6, then he'll be tackled around the 5-yard line by Cortez Stubbs.
That's a good pickup because you knew it's essentially you got to get to the end zone here. You got 3 downs to get to the end zone. Now they're inside the 5. 2 plays from the 4. I wouldn't even rule out a run here potentially on 3rd down.
Inside 5 minutes to go here in the second. Goodman with the grab. 2 receivers right side. Jackson, the lone receiver, to the left. Austin looks left, floats it up for Amari Jackson, and it's incomplete into the front row.
I don't like that call. That's just a jump ball to Amari Jackson. And it's called a win ball, and you got to give your receiver a chance. Shane Austin throws that about 15 feet in the air, and I don't think Shaquille O'Neal could have went up and got that.
But the man in the blue polo in the front row did.
He did, and he's happy. But we need touchdowns.
2 receivers right side. Make it 3. 4th and goal from the 4. Second time the Gladiators have faced 4th and goal in the game. Austin takes a look, throws right in. It's caught by Goodman in the back corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Gladiators. Flags are down, however. 21-14, Gladiators could be 27-14, but we'll wait and see.
Doug, this game reminds me of a game we did maybe a year or 2 ago.
Zone infraction, defense, number 44. That penalty result of the play is a touchdown.
So Dominic Goodman, a touchdown.
It's like a penalty on every play, but to go back to that previous touchdown, again, who does Shane Austin go to in a clutch situation? It's number 16, Dominic Goodman. He runs a corner route, and he's able to get behind the defensive back right in that back far right corner. And I just mentioned 2 plays ago, a bad throw by Shane Austin trying to get Amari Jackson. He comes back with a strike to Goody.
3:35 to go here in the second. Gladiators 27, New Orleans 14. The hold is down. The kick from Trevino is no good. Off the iron and wide to the right. But the Gladiators have a 2-score lead, and that's the first 2-score lead for either team in the game so far. Dustin and I will be right back to the queue. Folks, you're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back to the Q. 3:28 go here in the second. 27-14 Gladiators in front of the New Orleans VooDoo. Down to our right is Trevino to kick it down to our left where Carlise Franklin awaits to return. It was a Dominic Goodman 4-yard touchdown catch that capped off the last Gladiators drive. He's got 2 receiving touchdowns in the game. Colin Taylor has 1. The other Gladiators touchdown in this one, a Shane Austin 4-yard rushing touchdown. Trevino, the kickoff. And this one goes off that center bar, wild bounce, and Trevino, the kicker, is able to smother it. And it's Gladiators football around the 13-yard line.
I don't know that I've ever seen a football come off the uprights quite like that. It was almost like a line drive, and it came directly back. It almost went 15 yards, Doug, all the way out to about the 13-yard line where Trevino's able to recover it. Just a wild play, end over end bouncing, and we get a free onside kick. I love it.
Trevino recovering it. You ever seen a kicker recover a kickoff?
Yes, I have in outdoor football, and they run the avalanche onside kick, but not off a goalpost in arena.
2 receivers right side, 1st and 10 for the Gladiators, going right to left, starting at the 13-yard line over the middle for Taylor, and he's stopped in his tracks. The ball batted down by Kaiser, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Gladiators. Now, the Gladiators have gone to 3rd down, 4th down quite a bit in this game, but they've managed to complete their drives and score every time so far. This is a chance for the Gladiators to really take a stranglehold on this thing, so with the opportunity to stretch it to a 3-score advantage here in the first half. Gladiators did post 70 on the board the last time they played New Orleans on the road back in week 2. Austin, 2 receivers right side. He rolls right, takes a look, and he throws for Goodman, but that one batted down, defended by Tracy Belton, the defensive back out of UMass, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Gladiators on the New Orleans 13.
You don't want to squander this opportunity here with this free
flag.
Possession.
Roughing the passer, number defense. Half the distance to the goal, down.
Oh, that'll help.
So roughing the passer call against the New Orleans defense, and Bernard Smith took a little bit more of a liberty than he should have that time against Shane Austin, but the Gladiators benefit from it. 1st and goal from the 6.
A little bit of a cheap shot there against the boards.
Austin, he'll hand this one off to Jeremy Richardson, the fullback, who gets to about the line of scrimmage, and that is about it.
don't know how there wasn't an illegal participation here on this play.
I don't think Smith got off the field.
He had Bernard Smith running on the field late, which would have put 8 men on the field. Excuse me, 9 men on the field. And he's trying to get off the field at the last second. He didn't get off. It's like they didn't see it.
Second and goal from the 4 now with 1:16 left here in the second. 3 receivers to the right. Amari Jackson is the motion man. He'll be between Goodman and Taylor. A dump off, Austin for Taylor. He gets to maybe the 4-yard line. We'll see how much they give him on the lean, but he's forced out of bounds on the far side. And we come up on 1 minute to go here in the first half. 27-14, Gladiators over New Orleans. The 1-minute warning upon us. We'll be right back with more. And we'll see if the Gladiators can punch it in the end zone when we return. You're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. 1 minute to go here in the second quarter. The Gladiators like to thank University Hospital's Elyria Medical Center, Center of Orthopedics, Network Radiology, Idios Spine and Sport, NovaCare, the Vision Development Team, Team Physician, Dr. Scott Singer, Team Dentist, Dr. Todd Russell, for being the official medical team of the Cleveland Gladiators. 27-14 Gladiators in front of the VooDoo, and Gladiators looking at third and goal from the 3-yard line as they try to make this a 3-score game for the first time tonight. It was a recovered kickoff. Kickoff from Trevino went off the bar, rocketed out to the 13-yard line, and the kicker Trevino was the first one on the scene to recover it. Got down on it immediately, and that's how the Gladiators got the ball to start this drive. So third and goal from the 3. The Gladiators, once again, they've gone to third and fourth down quite a bit in the game so far. Nothing to be alarmed about if you're the Gladiators so far in this one. Gladiators, 1 third down conversion, 2 fourth down conversions in the game. A couple of fourth down touchdowns. 2 receivers left side. Goodman in motion, wide to the left. Third down and goal. Austin looking left, throws, batted, and incomplete. Getting in the way of that one was Roosevelt Falls, the linebacker out of Louisiana Tech.
He's made a couple of nice plays tonight from the middle linebacker spot for the VooDoo. Almost had 2 interceptions already on the night, and that's another one he almost comes up with.
And he leads New Orleans coming into the game with 2.5 sacks. Also leads the VooDoo with 3.5 tackles for loss, and gets used as a fullback quite a bit too. Now it looks like Steve Tunn going to kick the field goal here. This is one of these drives where you think, okay, maybe you're playing with house money.
Well, you are, and you missed the PAT, so you're thinking about it, going up here 3 possessions. And I think it's the right call.
Fourth and goal from the 3. The hold from Deeker will be out at the 10. He gets it down. Here's the kick from Trevino, and it is up and through. 3 points on the board for the Gladiators. It's 30-14.
Excuse me, 2 possessions still. 16-point game. Forget about the 2-point conversion sometimes. But I still think it's the right call because you missed that PAT. You now get those points back, and you're right, Doug. It was a free possession.
And they cancel out that missed point after try, and now they force New Orleans' hand. They're going to have to go for 2 a couple of times if they're going to even things up here.
Of course, New Orleans will. Fox math I brought to the broadcast tonight. That's myself and my partner Adam the Bull, who we can't add. We just can't.
tough time with that.
We're terrible. So we just now nicknamed it Bull and Fox math.
Do you practice when you go home?
We try.
Well, we'll do what we can to simplify all the equations for you tonight.
Thank you.
Trevino.
Do you think you could do division now if you had to?
Yes.
For sure?
Depends on what. I mean, it might take a little longer to go through all the steps they used to show you.
I don't know that I could. Remember algebra back in the day? Oof. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Wasn't my favorite thing either.
No, my goodness. You kidding me?
And I think you're doing more division than you'd realize. With
think
all
so?
the percentage calculations and things like that in sports.
Yeah. Again, not my strong suit. I struggled with Math 050 at Ohio State. That was the remedial course.
Trevino's going to kick this one from our right down to our left. Carlise Franklin will return. And this one picked up by Franklin. Up the near side he comes, stopped in his tracks. May have bounced off his own man, and he's taken down inside the 5-yard line. And with 48.4 seconds on the clock here in the second, 30-14, Gladiators, New Orleans back on the field. Now, the way they're approaching this, if they perfectly calculate things and perfectly execute things, they're not that far out of this thing because they'll get the ball to start the second half. So if they can be the last team to score here in this half and then get the ball to start the next half, they could put themselves...
Get a possession right back and be right back in the game. A lot of time. I mean, look, the final minute of the first half always seems like it goes forever.
Here's a pass to the left for Jackson to the 10-yard line, and turning out of bounds immediately. He probably could have picked up 5 more yards, but he was able to stop the clock. Looks like they'll spot it at the 11-yard line. It's going to be second down and 3. I think he could have gotten to the first down, and his team has 2 timeouts to go.
And that was a little curious to step out of bounds that early. It's not like there's not a minute left, essentially.
44.1 seconds on the clock, second quarter. Gladiators by 16. 3 receivers right side for New Orleans. Second down and 3, going left to right. A throw from Reeder. This one hauled in and tackled across midfield. Making the catch was Roger Jackson. Justin Hanna on the stop for the Gladiators. So New Orleans comes up with 2 good plays to Jackson right off the top of the drive. Down to the 23 of the Gladiators they go. It'll be a new set of downs for New Orleans. 36.3 seconds to go. Second quarter.
Nice crowd on hand tonight here at the Q, Doug. You know, the Cavs obviously have the weekend off, and we were talking about earlier how the fan fest that they've had here have been unbelievable. 15,000 fans here at the Q last night, and it's a perfect opportunity for the fans to get out here and support this football team tonight.
And they've been into it here tonight.
Yeah, pretty impressive crowd. Take a look around. They're getting loud, too.
First and 10 for New Orleans. Left to right they'll go. They're at the 23 of the Gladiators. 3 receivers left side. Brian Reeder is the quarterback. And he'll see the pocket collapse, and he takes off to his left inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. Escapes out of bounds and picked up some yardage. He had a lineman just blow a tire out there. I'm not sure if he was injured or if he just fell, but that's why things really collapsed on Reeder so quickly.
You had a sniper up in Loudville.
Reeder was able to turn it into a 6-yard pickup. 28.8 seconds left here in the second quarter. 3 receivers right side. In motion is Duval. A throw from Reeder. Franklin has it on the near side, and he's run into the sideboards by Fred Shaw. Forced right into the down marker. Knocked that thing flying. And 24.2 seconds on the clock here in the second.
Pretty efficient drive here by the VooDoo, trying to put some points on the board before half. And they were able to basically get themselves in scoring position here in about 20 seconds.
And a new set of downs.
Still have a timeout left, so they can still work the middle of the field if they can't get into the end zone.
3 receivers left side. Franklin in motion. Reeder looks over to that left side. Now looks over the middle, and then he's run into, gets the pass away. We've got flags in the air. The pass incomplete as Reeder was run into. Looked like DeGreat got to him. 19.3 seconds left here in the half, and we'll wait for the announcement from field level.
There's no foul on the play for Jack out of the box. Second down.
So there's a flag, but they say no flag.
And I've been really impressed with Donnie Fletcher's coverage tonight. He's done a great job in the slot, especially working against Carlise Franklin, who has been playing that position a lot. And right there, he had smothering coverage. That's why Reeder had nowhere to go with the football.
2nd and 10 for New Orleans. They're going left to right in their white jerseys and white pants with purple helmets, purple socks. 3 receivers left side. Reeder looking over there on 2nd down, now over the middle, and it's batted down, but we've got a flag on the play against Donnie Fletcher, most likely.
It's pretty good coverage by Fletcher. They're going to get a PI on him, but just a little too much jersey, I think.
And our officials have a conference on the field. Gladiators pleading a case. And the announcement forthcoming.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Pass interference, defense, number 7. Shot block on the offense, number 53 and 33. Both those penalties offset. Replay 2nd down.
All right.
So it'll be 2nd down, 10 to go, 15.1 seconds on the clock. Now what this is doing, it's taking us closer to halftime, and if New Orleans is to score, there won't be much time left for the Gladiators, or the Gladiators now, they're forcing New Orleans into a situation where they're not going to have all the time to work with that they would have liked. 3 receivers left side, 2nd down, and now this is going to be whistled. I don't believe everybody was properly set.
Yeah, Dean Coquinos, the head coach of the VooDoo, was not happy. He comes running up to the official to get a timeout. I'm not sure if the right play call was set or if he wanted to get somebody else in the game, but that's going to be their last timeout, and that's costly for them because, remember, you talk about being able to work the middle of the field there on 2nd down because you had that extra timeout. Now you can't. Now you got to, with only 14 seconds remaining, you got to work the boards to try and get out of bounds if you can't get something into the end zone.
Well, we've talked about it so far tonight. The drives for New Orleans haven't exactly been the most crisp at all times, but
no. But we've helped them on numerous occasions tonight by giving them free plays, keeping drives alive. So you essentially have 2 plays here. They can pick up a 1st down inside the 2-yard line, but you got 2 plays here, 15.1 to go in the first half. Glad's got to come up with a big stop here.
15.1 seconds on the clock. 2nd quarter, 2 receivers left side. 2nd and 10 for New Orleans. Reeder looking over the middle, throws, caught, end zone, touchdown Jackson. And as you mentioned, Dustin, a throw, a catch, no contact made. He marched right into the end zone.
Yeah, too easy. Nice throw, nice catch.
Roger
Jackson, the rookie, by the way, who's having a heck of a season for the VooDoo.
A lot of action for Jackson on that drive.
Well put.
Looks like they'll just go for the single extra point. No reason to roll the dice on the 2-point conversion just yet if you're New Orleans. The kick from Lindholm is through, so it's a 9-point ball game, 11.1 on the clock.
Still a 2-possession game.
2-possession game, and you're this point, the New Orleans VooDoo have to kick the ball away. And there will be time for the Gladiators to run 1, maybe 2 plays, depending on what kind of kickoff return there is.
Yeah, definitely. Or at least maybe try and set up a field goal.
Gladiators coming into this game fourth in scoring offense in the league, averaging 54.3 points per game. At this rate, on pace to surpass that. Of course, a whole 30-minute stretch of football still to go, plus the last 11.1 seconds of this second quarter. Amari Jackson will be the return man for the Gladiators once again. For Jackson, 2 returns, 46 kickoff return yards in the game. Lone man down to our right. I don't think we'd see an extra or an onside try from New Orleans, but
no, I don't think you would do it, because if you don't recover it, you give the Gladiators great field position where they could dink or dunk one into the end zone here.
So Jackson down to the right. Lindholm to kick it away. For New Orleans, that was a 6-play, 46-yard drive that took 41 seconds, capped off by Roger Jackson, 12-yard touchdown catch. Clean return for Jackson out of the end zone. Amari Jackson to the 10-yard line, run into around the 13, taken down, and we've got a little dust up back behind the play. Donnie Fletcher involved with a member of the VooDoo, and meanwhile everything settled down, and looks like the New Orleans VooDoo saying that ball came loose and it's theirs.
No,
the signals that it's Gladiators football. Looked like Jackson was definitely down. 4.9 seconds on the clock, so time for the Gladiators to really take one stab at it.
I don't know that. I don't know
now.
that he was definitely down.
I mean, this is a potential game changer because if New Orleans ends up with the ball, they're right there in field goal range. And we wait for an update from field level.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on New Orleans coach. First down.
That's a big penalty now. It gives the Glads.
Well, it'll be interesting to know exactly what Dean Coquinos said to our on-field officiating crew. 4.9 seconds to go here in the second. First season as the VooDoo head coach, Dean Coquinos. 2 receivers right side. And Shane Austin dumps one off to the left for Goodman. Up the near side, got out of bounds, and that's going to leave time for one play. 1.8 seconds left in the half, and Goodman able to get out of bounds. And
Steve Tell will take a timeout here to talk over this final play. But there's a lot of options here because
the kicker Trevino is coming off the bench. Now that could be just to get New Orleans thinking field goal a little bit.
And kickers always come on the field no matter what, because they want to make sure that the coach knows that he's ready. But I actually think they're going to take a shot at this. I remember Aaron Petrie when he was playing for the Glads. I think he would come on the field
during defensive sequences. I think he'd come out and warm up.
He'd come on the field any opportunity he could.
1.8 seconds left here in the second. 9-point ball game. Gladiators in front of New Orleans. Trevino is going to kick this one. The hold from Deeker. Be back at the Gladiators' 24-yard line, it would appear. Now remember, if there is a miss, it is returnable by New Orleans, so just something else to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and remember, you've got a lot of big dudes on the field right now for the protection unit. So you're looking at Dominic Jones, who's basically the personal protector here. He's got to make the tackle.
The snap is a high one. Deeker gets it down. The kick from Trevino is up. It's over the netting and the uprights, but it is good.
Wow.
Trevino drills it. It's 33-21 Gladiators at the half. A big first half for the Gladiators kicker, who recovered a kickoff and nailed 2 field goals. So a big first half for him, and we'll be joined by a member of the Gladiators at field level here in just a moment. Downstairs outside the Gladiators locker room. 33-21 Gladiators over New Orleans at the half. And now Carlise Franklin down to her right to return for New Orleans.
Doug, I was blown away hearing Colin Taylor tell us how Trevino is aiming the football towards that lower bottom crossbar, and he's been able to hit it, 2 out of 3 times, or at least how many kickoffs did they have in the first half? 5 kickoffs, 6 kickoffs? I mean, he's hit it twice now. Look at this.
And off the low netting, taken by Franklin, and out he comes to the 5-yard line, but can't skip away from the pressure. The ball's on the field. There's a scramble for it here on the near side. It was dropped by Franklin. Do the Gladiators have it?
They do.
We wait for the signal.
I think they have it, Doug.
And it looks like it's Gladiators football. Andy Cruz looked like he came out with it. It is Gladiators ball. We have the final ruling, and the Gladiators have it.
Well, so much for the VooDoo taking advantage of getting the football to start the second half. The Gladiators take it right back. The second turnover, but the Glads have been able to take advantage on a kickoff.
Well, it's been a tough day returning the ball for Carlise Franklin.
He returns about as well as he kicked for the Glads.
And now, a little miscommunication. Looks like the Gladiators trying to get everybody on the field. And it looks like the VooDoo, they're thinking this thing over. Do they want to challenge this one? Dean Coquinos has the red flag. It's going to be Gladiators ball. They're going to get things going here in a hurry. 1 minute into the half, Gladiators first and goal from the 4 after recovering the kickoff. Now it's going to be played off for Murray Jackson. He fumbles, and this one picked up by the VooDoo. And it is New Orleans ball just like that. So after Franklin fumbled the kickoff, now he can breathe a sigh of relief as New Orleans comes up with the ball. Amari Jackson fumbled. 1:04 into the third quarter, and we've seen a pair of fumbles, each team recovering one, and now we're right back to where we started the half.
I feel bad for whoever's running the Gladiators Twitter account. They just tweeted about the fumble we recovered, and then we give it right back to the VooDoo.
Over to the right, 3 receivers. Brian Reeder dropping back, throws, and this one is caught. Roger Jackson out to about the 14, takes a couple of hits, dumped over by Fred Shaw. Helmet knocked off of Jackson. Enough for the first down for New Orleans. Gladiators digital team does a solid job.
Yeah.
A.J. Coleman, Connor Kenny. Guys who are
all your boys
behind the scenes handling that. 13-10 left in the third, 33-21. Gladiators over New Orleans. 2 receivers left side. Reeder dropping back, throws long for Stroud, flag down, and it's an incomplete pass, but we could have a pass interference call coming up against Fred Shaw. I
think it's a hold because the ball was not thrown yet.
But Stroud definitely had a step on Shaw.
Definitely.
On the defense, number 8. 10 penalty.
Yeah, I mean, good play by Fred Shaw because that was going to be a touchdown. Had he not interfered at some point, he just had to grab a little bit of jersey to slow him down. And, yeah, you give up the first down here in terms of the penalty, but it's better than giving up 6.
So 12:48 to go in the third. We've had a lot happen.
Yeah.
Early in the half, some fumbles. Now a penalty that gives New Orleans a first down. 1st and 10, they're on their own 23-yard line, moving right to left. 3 receivers left side. Duvalt in motion. He's been quiet. Reeder goes long for Duvalt, and in there to break it up is Donnie Fletcher for the Gladiators as he goes hard into that end board, and now he's a little shaken up, and that's going to bring the Gladiators trainer Jeff Lambert-Shimo and team physician Dr. Scott Singer out onto the field in a hurry. He went to defend the pass and then went hard into the end wall. 12:20 left in the third. And they'll have a look at him. In the meantime, we'll step away. 33-21 Gladiators over the VooDoo. Doug Plagans, Dustin Fox, Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back inside the Q. 12:20 left here in the third quarter. 33-21 Gladiators on top of the New Orleans VooDoo. Donnie Fletcher left the field under his own power, but was injured on that last play. And again, one of the nuances of arena football, those boards, they come into play. He made a nice play on the ball, defended a pass, knocked it away, but at the same time went hard into those end boards. So shaken up, left the field, and now we'll get ready for second down and 10.
And you see if they try and take advantage of that because he's had a nice game.
And Chris Deeker's in there now.
Yeah, I mean, that's we'll have to watch that because, I mean, let's face it, you're putting a quarterback in the game to play defense.
And in arena football, you have guys who play both sides of the ball. You don't have a huge roster. When you can have a backup quarterback who chips in other parts of the game like this, it is a good use of that roster spot.
The good news is you're having him play jack linebacker. It's not like you're having him play safety or cornerback.
Reeder, a pass to the right, and that's incomplete, intended for the offensive lineman who was eligible on that play, Cornelius Dixon, 6'6", 345. Dixon unable to catch the ball, and 3 minutes into the half, it'll bring up third down and 10 for New Orleans. 4 times in this game, we've seen New Orleans go on pass plays to either an offensive lineman or their fullback, and only one time they've completed the pass. 3rd and 10, New Orleans right to left. They're on their own 23. 2 receivers left side. Reeder looks over the middle, floats this one high, and it's too far for the intended receiver, Carlise Franklin. Justin Hanna was going after that one, and he went into those end boards as well. And now back onto the field, the Gladiators trainer, Jeff Lambert-Schimo, team physician, Dr. Scott Singer, were about to make the dash over the end zone, but Hanna says he's okay. The Gladiators in that secondary can't afford to lose any bodies at this point.
No question. You don't have any guys left. And you'd be talking about maybe he's bringing Goody in the game or Colin Taylor, who, by the way, does have an interception on the year for a touchdown back against Tampa Bay.
4th and 10 for New Orleans from their own 23. 3 receivers left side. Reeder with pressure coming. He throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. A turnover on downs. 10:49 to go, third quarter. 33-21 Gladiators over the VooDoo. We're going to keep it locked here. The ruling from field level is that we're going to get right into the live action. So a big turnover on downs forced by the Gladiators defense. And tell you what, we've seen crazy things happen, but if the Gladiators can go right down the field and score here, it makes things extremely tough on the New Orleans VooDoo.
Yeah, there's no question. And that was a pretty good defensive play by Fred Shaw. I think he got away with maybe a little bit of PI, but they didn't call it. And the Glads take advantage of it here, and they've got the football in VooDoo territory.
2 receivers right side. Austin looks over to the right. We've got a flag on the field. Austin's going to take off this time. Up the near side, takes a hard hit into the boards here along the near wall. And Austin right back up on his feet. Didn't get enough for the first down, but we'll wait and see what the nature of the penalty flag is.
Personal foul. Number 77 on the defense, hands to the face. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So the penalty puts the ball at the 18-yard line. 1st and 20 for the Gladiators. Three receivers right side as Jackson heads over in motion. 10:20 left here in the third. Austin looks over the middle. He has Goodman around the 20, and a diving catch made by Dominic Goodman. Rolls to about the 19 or so. And that'll bring up second down for the Gladiators. 2nd and 6 coming.
That's a well-designed play there. They're trying to use Amari Jackson almost like a decoy to take a couple of defenders away, and they're playing zone coverage in the back end. What it does is it pulls 2 guys away onto Jackson, and then it opens up a little hole for Goody. Pick up a nice gain.
That was his 15th completion. Austin over the middle for Taylor again. Sharply thrown ball. Taylor runs for the first down. He'll be stopped around the 10-yard line. So a little throw to Colin Taylor underneath, and then he does the rest. 9:30 left here in the third. 12-point game. Gladiators in front. Austin, 16 of 23 throwing the ball. Over 160 yards passing. And two receivers will be lined up to the left. First and goal from the 10-yard line. Austin quickly throws right for Amari Jackson, and he juggles it, can't hang on to it. And second down on the way. Amari Jackson hasn't gotten into his groove in this game so far. Had a huge game last week. One catch in the game so far for Amari Jackson. And then he had the ball knocked out of his hands on that catch. 8:40 left in the third. 12-point ball game. Gladiators in front of the VooDoo. Three receivers left side, and Jackson heads over in motion. Austin looking left. Now he throws right for Amari Jackson. Makes the grab, walks to the end zone. Touchdown, Gladiators.
Boy, so close to being an interception, maybe a pick six by Rayshon Kaiser. Had pretty good coverage on Amari Jackson. The football goes right between his hands and into Amari Jackson's hands, and he's able to just sort of back into the end zone for an easy touchdown, but very close to being an interception.
Well, Kaiser went for the ball, and it was one of those plays where he was either going to get the ball or it was going to be a touchdown for Jackson because he took himself.
They always say as a coach, as a defensive back coach, if you go in front with two hands, you better get the football. And he didn't.
And there was no catching up to Jackson. Now here's the extra point try from Trevino that is through. And that will make it a 40-21 game. The Gladiators out in front. 7:36 left in the third. We'll step aside. It's Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions right here on 92.3 The Fan. .736 to go here in the third. 40-21 Gladiators in front of the New Orleans VooDoo. And it's going to be Carlise Franklin down to our right to return for New Orleans. Trevino to kick. Amari Jackson. Touchdown catch to cap off that last drive. It was a 10-yard touchdown pass from Shane Austin. And mentioned Jackson hadn't really gotten into his groove yet in this one. He had a fumble, but Shane Austin went back to him, and big play for Amari Jackson to get rolling here in this one. You know, he's a perennial 1,000-yard receiver in the AFL, coming off 3 huge games the last 3 weeks. And he was able to find the end zone. Trevino down to our left, has it teed up. Down to our right is Franklin.
They just struggle to score sometimes. Talking about the VooDoo, so we'll see what they can do here on this possession.
Franklin fields it off the net. Out he comes. Franklin to the 10, 15, 20-yard line. And he skips around Fred Shaw inside the 20 of the Gladiators before he's brought down around the 16. So Carlise Franklin a big return there. He's had a couple of those. He's also had a couple of returns that stopped really before they could even get going. So it's been somewhat of an all-or-nothing game returning the football for him, but a big one right there in New Orleans is going to have it down to the 17-yard line of the Gladiators.
It was a nice little bounce-back play for him. You mentioned the fumble in the last return. Now he gives the VooDoo a little bit of life here on this possession. But you got to give a lot of credit to the way the Glad's defense has played. They've really bowed up the last couple of possessions.
6:57 to go, third quarter, 40-21. It's the Gladiators in front. Reeder on first down, goes for it all, and he throws incomplete.
Wow.
Into the second row.
It's a bad throw by Reeder, but there may be a reason for it. There's going to be a roughing the passer.
Penalty, first down.
Roughing the passer and a first down for New Orleans.
Randy Collins, the one who gets called for the penalty.
So now it'll be first and 10. From the 7, or first and goal from the 7-yard line, rather. Reeder and company setting up with 3 receivers on the right side. Duvalt in motion. Now we've called his name just twice. Reeder takes a look to the end zone, and this one is incomplete. Justin Hanna ran into Duvalt, and Duvalt wanted a flag there, and he didn't get the call.
Yeah, from my vantage point, I don't know how he didn't get the call, to be honest with you. Hanna dragged him to the turf before he had a chance to catch the football. To be honest with you, I think we got away with one there.
5:56 to go, third quarter, a 19-point ball game. Gladiators out in front. Setting up with 2 receivers on the right side. Jackson is the motion man. Franklin to the left. Reeder takes a look to the end zone, and this one is also incomplete off the end boards. Third and goal coming from the 7.
Just nowhere for Reeder to go with the football. He's getting a ton of pressure.
He's having a hard time out there. He has now thrown more incomplete passes than complete passes in this football game.
Jeremy Richardson, who doubles as a fullback on the offensive side, is out there as a defensive lineman, providing a lot of pressure. Anthony DeGray coming off the edge. And we talked about it in the open. You want to try and get pressure on these guys, especially without Joe Finney in the secondary. A little undermanned. They've done it. They've done their job.
And with 4:57 to go in the third, we've got ourselves a stoppage on the field. And with that, it's New Orleans timeout. We're going to step aside. 40-21 Gladiators in front of the VooDoo. Folks, you're listening to Cleveland Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back to the Q. 4:57 to go in the third. Gladiators by 19, 40-21. Third down and goal from the 7 coming for New Orleans, and the Gladiators on this drive have really just taken all the lanes away from Reeder.
Yeah, they've been suffocating, not only up front, but in the back end, too. They've done a really nice job.
Brian Reeder, the quarterback for New Orleans, takes a look to the end zone, throws, and he's got a wide open man caught for a touchdown as it's Chris Duvault with nobody around him. And New Orleans pulls back to within 13.
And that's the frustrating part is when you're playing so well. We just praising the defense and what they've done and been able to accomplish the last 2 possessions, and then to just have a complete mental breakdown like that where you leave a receiver wide open, that's a bust.
And Lindholm on for the extra point try, trying to make it a 40-28 ball game. Lindholm's kick is through. 4:18 left here in the third quarter. 40-28 Gladiators in front of New Orleans, and keep it locked right here. So New Orleans will get ready to kick this thing away. And we've talked about it time and time again, how quickly things can turn in the AFL. The New Orleans VooDoo are really a defensive stop away from making this thing extremely interesting. The Gladiators, on the other hand, as long as they keep scoring, keep putting together efficient drives, they'll be in good shape. Brian Reeder's 12 of 24, throwing the ball for 120 yards and 4 touchdowns. Duvault has 3 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown for New Orleans. Folks, Friday, May 29th is the iHeart Cleveland night when the Gladiators take on the Orlando Predators at 7. First 7,500 fans get a Gladiators t-shirt, plus enjoy select $2 draft beers. For tickets, 216-420-2222. Visit clevelandgladiators.com or any Northern Ohio discount drug mart. Gladiators football is presented by Unique Home Solutions. Of course, after tonight, Gladiators back at it on the road. Will be in San Jose a week from tomorrow. That'll be a 10:30 Eastern time start.
A little road trip for you, Dougie.
Right here on 92.3 The Fan to California, San Jose. They've got In-N-Out Burger there.
Yes, they do. Is that a go-to for you when you make a West Coast trip?
Whenever I have the opportunity. Yeah. Here's the kickoff from Lindholm down to the end zone, taken by Amari Jackson, and out he comes, and he's got some open field. Jackson gets by the kicker to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Gladiators. Amari Jackson takes the kickoff all the way back, and the Gladiators immediately respond.
Boy, Doug, was Amari Jackson just shot out of a cannon or what? What a burst to get through that first wave of defenders, and they just weren't going to catch him. He puts a move on the kicker there, Lindholm, at about midfield, and then he just turns on the afterburners, and he gets all the way to the end zone, and that's what the Glads needed. They needed a quick score, a quick strike to answer that last drive by the VooDoo, and it got the crowd right back into it. Wow.
Heck of a return
yes,
for him.
It was.
And now he's got a couple of touchdowns in this one. One receiving, one on a kick return. The extra point try from Trevino is through. 47-28 Gladiators. They get it right back after New Orleans scores, and this is back to a 19-point ball game. 3:19 left in the third. We'll step aside. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. 3:19 left here in the third. 47-28 Gladiators on top of New Orleans. We mentioned coming up for the Gladiators a week from tomorrow out in San Jose. 10:30 Eastern time start, so a late one. If you stay up with us to catch Gladiators football, it'll be live right here on 92.3 The Fan. Every Gladiators game live right here on 92.3 The Fan. Also, want to welcome in all the folks tuned in on the ESPN3 app tonight. Also, would like to say hello to everybody who's just making Gladiators football a part of their night. Give a shout out to our man Eddie Millars back in the studio. Also, our folks tuned in on AM 1440 out in Warren. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Are we on ESPN3 tonight as well?
We are.
I like that.
Here's kickoff from Trevino. Down to our right, not a play, no return. So regardless of how you're consuming Gladiators football this evening, I want to thank you for making it a part of your night. Kickoff out of play, no return. 47-28 Gladiators in front of the VooDoo. The New Orleans offense comes back on. From the 5-yard line, they'll get things going. Brian Reeder's 12 of 24 passing for New Orleans. And we've seen the Gladiators clamp down defensively as this thing's worn along. 3 receivers to the right. Deeker back in there at Jack linebacker, something we've been following all evening long. Reeder throws long to Vault, and it's knocked away by Fred Shaw. Almost picked it off. He wanted it, but he made a good play and prevented a touchdown.
Well, that was a beautiful play by Fred Shaw. He comes across at just the last second. It looked like DeVault was going to catch this thing in stride and walk into the end zone for a touchdown. And then just out of nowhere comes Fred Shaw, like Willie May style, to get 2 hands on it, and he's unable to come up with it. But what an effort.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 5. New Orleans going right to left. 2 receivers to the right. Jackson in motion, wide to the right. Reeder looks left, throws right, and it's incomplete. He saw pressure coming and he got flattened by Willie McGinnis. And 3rd down and 10 on the way, and a flag is thrown, a late flag, and perhaps Dean Coquinos talked his way into another one. We'll wait and see.
Early flags are down.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 77 on the offense. Half the distance to goal, 3rd down.
Well, they obviously didn't like the fact that there was no penalty against Willie McGinnis, and looked like Willie got in there at a perfect time. I don't think there was any need for a penalty flag.
Well, they back him up, and there's not a whole lot of room to go. Any further back, they're already at the 3-yard line.
And things have really been tough on Brian Reeder back there as this game sure has carried along. We've got about 100 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, and the Gladiators are up by 19. 3 receivers to the right of the quarterback Reeder. 3rd and 13 from the 2. Reeder pressured, and he's able to get out of the end zone, but he's tackled. Getting back to make the stop was Willie McGinnis. Maybe a 1-yard pickup, maybe 2 for Reeder, but either way, Willie McGinnis made a nice play and stopped the quarterback in his tracks, and it's going to be 4th down and long from the shadows of their own uprights.
Yeah, that was close to being a safety. He's just able to get out of the end zone.
4th and 11, inside a minute to go here in the 3rd. Ball back on the 4-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Stroud in motion. 1 man in the backfield. It's Ashak, and now Coquinos forced to use a timeout. The head coach of New Orleans doesn't look like he's thrilled with how things developed there. A 30-second timeout. 46-28.
He's not a happy camper right now. His team's down 19 points. They're backed up. They're getting penalties inside their own 5-yard line, and now they're forced to try and pick up a very difficult 4th down here. Because think about it, the Glads get the football. I mean, they're right in business. I mean, they're the 4-yard line.
And when you're down 19 and you're in danger of giving a team the ball 4 yards from the end zone, you're
pretty desperate here.
Well, New Orleans is in a tough spot.
Yeah, they are.
They're down to 1 timeout. for the rest of this game as well. Duvall will be the motion man. He has the most recent New Orleans touchdown. Came on their last drive. Reeder from the end zone. He throws long, and this one is knocked away by Dominic Jones, and another turnover on downs forced by the Gladiators defense, and now the Gladiators offense will take over 4 yards from the end zone.
I'm not sure if he meant to do it, but it's a good thing that he didn't intercept that pass, Dominic Jones, that is, because that would have been a punt, essentially, because
been a huge loss.
Yeah, a huge loss, absolutely. Now they get the football at the 4-yard line as opposed to being at their own 10-yard line where Dominic Jones almost comes up with an interception. I don't think defensive backs, and I played the position, sometimes you want to give them credit for being smart, and some guys are. I don't know that in these situations, at that split second, you can really think about that. I think it's tough. I think it's a tough spot to be in.
You're trained to intercept the pass.
Yeah, you're trained to go after the ball. And in a situation like that, I think you're just trying to make a play.
Well, we've come up on the end of the third quarter, and the Gladiators have a 47-28 lead, and they'll take over first and goal from the 4 when we start the fourth. We'll step aside. Dustin and I will be right back here in just a moment. Gladiators football, presented by Unique Home Solutions, right here on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. Time for the fourth quarter here at the Q47-28. The score, it's the Gladiators out in front. They'll have it first and goal from the 4-yard line after a New Orleans turnover on downs and a chance for the Gladiators to make things really tough on New Orleans here. Folks, enroll in the Monsters Hockey Club, the exclusive club for Monsters season ticket holders. Guarantee the best seats, the best price, and take advantage of member year-round events. Sign up today. Get 2 premium seats to a Gladiators football game. For more information, 216-420-0000 or visit LakeErieMonsters.com. Well, the Gladiators, 4 yards from scoring. Jeremy Richardson on the field. Do you keep it on the ground here on first down?
Yeah, why not? I think you've got all your options here, and you definitely want to get points. You definitely want to get in the end zone. I mean, if you score a touchdown here, Doug, I mean, that's all but the nail in the coffin for a team in New Orleans that really struggle to get anything going offensively.
2 receivers left side. The Gladiators have indeed kept that pressure on New Orleans, as Steve Tunn talked about. And they are going to keep it on the ground to Jeremy Richardson, and he doesn't get all the way there. Picked up 2, maybe 3. But a flag is down around the line of scrimmage.
Clipping. On the offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, they get Kit O'Brien for the clipping call. So the Gladiators back up to the 14-yard line. They're going right to left in their red and black camo jerseys. Black helmets, military salute night here at the Q. Great crowd on hand tonight at the Q as well, and they've been into it. They've had a lot to cheer for tonight. Some Medical Mutual stats here in just a moment, as Shane Austin has 3 receivers to his left side. Austin takes a look to the end zone. Wide open is Amari Jackson for the touchdown, and the Gladiators take a 53-28 lead. Tell you what, here in the second half, it's been the Amari Jackson show. A couple of receiving touchdowns, a kickoff return for a touchdown. Big second half for him.
And that play was just, he's wide open. I mean, he basically sits down right underneath the goalpost. Shane Austin delivers that right between his double ones, number 11. And look at this, all of a sudden, adds up 25 points.
And Trevino on for the extra point try. The Gladiators average 54.3 points a game.
Well, you got a whole quarter here to get the average up.
Deeker on for the hold. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick from Trevino. It's up and through. 54-28, Gladiators over New Orleans. Will step aside. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. Fourth quarter, 13:30 left. And, well, Adrian Trevino had to try that extra point a second time due to a Gladiators penalty, but he drilled it anyway. And 54-28, Gladiators on top of the New Orleans VooDoo here in the early stages of the fourth quarter. Enroll in the Gladiators Football Alliance, the exclusive club for Gladiators season ticket holders. Members receive year-round benefits, special discounts, and much more. For details, 216-420-2222 or visit clevelandgladiators.com. Gladiators football is presented by Unique Home Solutions. 13:30 left here in the fourth. And to kick it away is Trevino. Carlise Franklin down to our left on the return. For the Gladiators, Shane Austin is now 17 of 25, 180 yards, 5 touchdown passes, and another touchdown on the ground. Receiving for the Gladiators, Amari Jackson has 2 touchdowns. Dominic Goodman has 2 touchdowns. Colin Taylor has 1. Dominic Goodman leads all receivers in the game. 7 catches, 79 yards. Some Medical Mutual individual statistics from this game so far.
It's nice to see Shane Austin bounce back after throwing 3 picks last week, and he's been pretty clean today so far.
The kick from Trevino, and it's another good one. This one's going to go off the near netting. Taken by Franklin. Out he comes to the 5-yard line, jukes a little bit, then he's dragged down by Anthony DeGrade in there on special teams. 13:20 left here in the fourth. It's a 54-28 Cleveland Gladiator lead over the New Orleans VooDoo, and it's desperation time for New Orleans, and we'll see how they handle it. This is a team that this season, well, they're on the verge of falling to 2-6 if they can't pull off a miracle in this one. They score just 42.1 points a game, which is second to last in the AFL. So as far as their offense goes in this game and on the season, they've shown it's going to be tough for them to try to equal what the Gladiators have done here tonight against them. Reeder looks left, and it's a batted ball and nearly picked off by a diving Justin Hanna. A pass on 1st and 10, batted at the line. So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 for New Orleans from their own 8. They're going left to right across your dial with 12:40 left here in the 4th. And now the Gladiators are just swarming, and Reeder seems to be just right now looking for an answer of some sort.
Yeah, he's struggling to find any answers outside, and you go back to that last play, Hannah's got to make that interception. That's a tip ball, and I know he had to dive for it, but he's right there to get 2 hands underneath it before he hits the ground. He's got to make that play.
2nd and 10 from the 8, New Orleans. As Reeder drops back, he's pressured, escapes, and then he's caught up to and taken down. He didn't see the man coming behind him. That was Jeremy Richardson.
I don't know how he's able to hold on to that football. As you mentioned, Doug, he steps up in the pocket, and you've got big number 4, Jeremy Richardson, with 270 pounds bearing down on you from behind. I'm waiting for a Richardson to pop that football out. Luckily for the VooDoo, they hang on to it.
3rd and 5 from the 13. Reeder was so worried about getting around Chris Deeker that he didn't know Jeremy Richardson was coming. 2 receivers left side. Chris Deeker has really fit in nicely. Jack linebacker as Reeder takes a look right. Franklin makes the catch. It's going to be a 1st down for New Orleans as he was angled out of bounds by Hanna. And that'll bring up the new set of downs. 11-17 left here in the 4th. Talking about Deeker playing Jack linebacker. He's done a lot of it here tonight.
It's funny to see him out there. He's got the gloves on. He still looks the same. He's got the quarterback body, wearing number 14, and he's just playing defense. It'd be like putting Aaron Rodgers out there to play linebacker.
3 receivers left side, and Reeder looking over the middle. He throws, and it's caught by Jackson, and he'll march to the end zone. Roger Jackson for the New Orleans VooDoo scores to make this a 20-point ball game, 54-34.
But Doug, as well as the defense has played, I feel like almost every touchdown that the VooDoo have scored have been just easy touchdowns.
Jackson made the grab, was able to turn the corner, and nothing but daylight between him and the end zone.
Yeah.
Here's the kick from Lindholm, and that one is through. So 54-35, Gladiators over New Orleans. Gladiators will get the ball when we come back. 10-19 left 4th quarter. Gladiators will get the ball when we come back. This is Gladiators football right here on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back. 10:19 left, fourth quarter, 54-35. Gladiators out in front of the New Orleans VooDoo. In tonight's game, Amari Jackson down to our right to return. And kicking for New Orleans is Lindholm.
Well, not over yet, Doug. Still a lot of time.
Yeah, if you're the Gladiators, you still have to keep that pressure on New Orleans.
Yeah.
You can't let up.
And they're prepared for the onside kick, obviously.
Lindholm kicks it right at Jeremy Richardson. It bounced off him, went to the boards, and then Dominic Goodman knocked over somewhat awkwardly by Roger Jackson here on the near side, pops right back up. Interesting onside kick tactic to basically pick somebody and kick it right at him as hard as you can.
Yeah, they do that in the NFL too. It's a scary spot to be on. I was on the front lines of the kickoff return team when I played in the NFL, and you essentially want to dodge the football and allow it to go to the guys behind you. And right there, it was. Sometimes there's just nowhere to go. It'll hit you, and you hope for a lucky bounce.
Well, bounce to the boards, and that makes a dead ball on the kickoff like that. So now 9:55 to go, fourth quarter. 1st and 10, Gladiators at midfield. Shane Austin takes a look over the middle, and then he throws right. That one batted incomplete.
Wow. Very close to being intercepted.
It was knocked away by Tracy Belton. 9:38 left here in the fourth. And with that, 2nd down and 10. Austin 17 of 26 passing. 3 different Gladiators have carried the ball on run plays in this one. Austin, Manley, Richardson, 1 carry apiece. Austin, of course, a rushing touchdown from 4 yards out earlier in the game.
Can't get conservative here, though. You still got to try and score some points.
Austin for Goodman, and he took a stiff shot from Kaiser. The ball sails incomplete. That'll be 3rd and 10. Dominic Goodman's taken some hard shots in this one. Seems like his game, though. Sometimes it seems like he thrives on taking a few licks out there.
He's a bully out there. He does take some hard shots, but I think also when he gets the football in his hands, likes to deliver some punishment to defensive backs because he's a big physical wide receiver.
2 receivers to the left. Taylor's the motion man on the inside. Goodman on the wide side, and now it's Austin throwing for Taylor. He's got it, and he's taken to the boards on the far side of the field. He was running a bit of a cross pattern, made the catch, and now we've got flags down. Taylor got down around the 10-yard line before he was knocked out of bounds. And we'll find out about the penalty flags now with 8:26 to go in this fourth quarter of play. And the Gladiators, a 19-point advantage as they're trying to get to 5-3 through 8 games if they can hold on for the rest of this one. Penalties in this one, certainly not a rare occurrence.
Legal formation, number 2 on the defense. That penalty is declined. 1st down.
So a 1st down for the Gladiators. We'll have it at the 11. 8:20 left in the fourth. Austin with that completion to Taylor. Taylor has 6 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. 2 receivers lined up to the left, make it 3 as Andy Cruz heads over out there with Taylor and Goodman. Austin looks left all the way, caught by Goodman, and he'll have it around the 5-yard line before he's forced to the boards by Rayshon Kaiser. Inside 8 minutes to go here in the fourth. Gladiators looking to get to that 60-point threshold if they can score a touchdown. Looks like they'll spot it at the 4-yard line. 2nd down and 3 for the Gladiators, who are going right to left from the 4-yard line. Goodman set up wide to the right, Cruz to the left. Taylor in motion in the slot to the right. Austin throws for Taylor, went up to make the grab, couldn't hang on, then he's run into the boards.
That's a great throw by Shane Austin. Colin Taylor working on Tracy Belton, the cornerback from New Orleans. And the ball's right there. Taylor just unfortunately can't get 2 hands on it. And that should have been 6.
So 6:59 left here in the fourth. Gladiators by 19. Third down and 3 from the 4-yard line. Two receivers to the right. Taylor again in motion. Austin throws this time for Goodman up to make the catch, and he can't get that hand to cradle it. Now, fourth down and 3 from the 4-yard line for the Gladiators. Are they going to bring the field goal unit on? Looks like they will, and
yeah, I mean,
take the points here.
You can put it to 22 points.
Trevino looking for his third field goal of the game. Not often you see a kicker even get 3 field goal attempts in a game, much less drill 3 of them. See if he can do it right here.
Yeah.
2 field goals back in the first half. Recovered a kickoff. And Trevino will attempt the 19-yard field goal. Good snap and a good hold. The kick from Trevino is a good one.
The trifecta.
So
the hat trick.
Hat trick indeed. 57-35. Gladiators a 22-point lead over New Orleans. And with that, folks, we will step aside. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions right here on 92.3 The Fan. .554 to go, fourth quarter, 57-35. Gladiators on top of New Orleans. And Trevino on to kick it away. Another field goal for Trevino made this a 22-point ball game. And with that, the Gladiators, again, they can close this thing out. They'll go to 5-3. Next home game for the Gladiators. We talked about being on the road next week. A week from tomorrow, Gladiators in San Jose. It's 10:30 Eastern time start. Next time the Gladiators are back here at the Q, it'll be against Orlando on May 29th, a 7 o'clock start. Every Gladiators game can be heard live right here on 92.3 The Fan. Trevino down to our right. Franklin, the return man for New Orleans, down to our left. New Orleans in danger of falling to 2-6. Tough spot to be in through 8 games. Here's the kick from Trevino. And that's handled cleanly by Franklin. Out he comes, 5-yard line, 10. Up to the 15 and angled to the sideboards by Amari Jackson. 5:44 left in the fourth, 57-35. Gladiators on top of New Orleans. And as far as the Gladiators go, very, very challenging game coming up in a week in San Jose, rather. As the SaberCats are 7-0 going into their game tomorrow. And Brian Reeder brings out the New Orleans offense. 5:15 left, fourth quarter, 1st and 10. They're back at their own 16, going left to right. A pass off to the left for Jackson, and Roger Jackson leans out toward midfield. He won't get enough for the first down. Pick up of maybe 7 on the play.
You're Cleveland here. You're content with just allowing them to complete these underneath passes and allow the clock just to tick away. And you got to have a sense of urgency here if you're New Orleans to try and you're down 22 points.
3 receivers right side. Reader on 2nd and 3 throws. Left side caught by Duval to the 15. Taken down by Dominic Jones. 4:37 left here in the 4th. Now the Gladiators to San Jose next week. Hard to believe that after next week's game, half of the regular season in the books.
It's amazing. Time flies when you're having fun, Doug.
Indeed, and the Gladiators playing winning football. 3 receivers right side as a Reader. 1st and 10 from the Gladiators 12. Throws end zone wide open as Duval. Touchdown New Orleans. Virtually the same place he caught his last touchdown reception. Wide open. And that's a couple instances in this game where he's had an opportunity to break away and be the only man in the neighborhood. So 3:47 left in the 4th in New Orleans. With this extra point from Lindholm that is good, it's a 15-point ball game once again.
Well, it's getting interesting, Doug, because now it is a 2-possession game, and the pressure sort of goes back on the Glads here to get something done.
Well, it's funny how that happens time and time again. In the Arena Football League, sometimes it seems like there's more pressure on the team that's ahead than the team that's trailing.
It is funny how that sort of works out. You know, Brian Reader, as funny as it's been, you know, we've been kind of criticizing him for lacking production. The guy's thrown 6 touchdown passes.
And it hasn't always been him. There have just been a lot of instances where either he had nowhere to put the ball or he's just run out of time back there and had to run around and do something.
And when he's throwing some of these touchdowns, they have been wide open. My goodness. Looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers, Doug, are going to play the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals come Wednesday.
Do we have a final score there?
Yeah, we have a final score there. The Hawks beat the Wizards 94-91. In Washington in Game 6, so now the Cavs will not have home court advantage for the Eastern Conference Finals, but nonetheless, still enjoying 5 days of rest before they have to get back on the court, and I know Kyrie Irving's going to be happy about that.
Well, Atlanta was solid all year long.
They were, but they sort of fell apart towards the end. In the playoffs, they haven't been quite as impressive as they were at the early part of the season, but the Cavs, very impressive last night.
3:43 left in the 4th. Gladiators by 15. 57-42. And you wonder if the onside kick will be coming here from Lindholm. They tried an unorthodox onside kick last time. Tried to kick a line drive right at Jeremy Richardson that ended up bouncing to the boards. The kick from Lindholm, it's a roller, and a diving Tim Cheatwood able to get on top of it. It's Gladiators football. 3:39 left here in the 4th, and the Gladiators not far from the end zone once again. Cheatwood thinking that he should have 6 points for that. Nobody touched him. He picked up the ball, ran to the end zone.
He was touched.
But he was touched by a New Orleans special teamer. It looked like Stubbs got a little piece of him. Heads-up play, though, by Tim Cheatwood. Again,
it was the veteran player.
In the AFL, until you hear a whistle, you keep playing that thing out. 3:18 left in the 4th, 15-point lead for the Gladiators. Taylor in motion to the right. Taylor won't be the intended man. It's a throw to Goodman, and he's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Dominic Goodman. He went up there and he pulled it down, and the Gladiators take a 63-42 lead.
Doug, I don't know how he comes up with this one. He makes
a laser of a pass.
Oh, my goodness. What a pass by Shane Austin. This is a bullet. And it's somehow, you know, the defensive back gets his hands almost in the face of Goody, and Goody just snags it. I don't know if he's got to stick him on his hands or what, but he pulls that out of the air for an unbelievable catch.
63-42.
Shouldn't be surprised, though. Goody does that on a regular basis, but when he does it like that, it's like, wake up, my goodness.
Third touchdown catch of the game. The extra point try is good. 64-42. Gladiators over New Orleans. We've got flags on the field.
Illegal formation on the defense. Not enough men in a three-point stance.
So an illegal formation on the defense. If I heard correctly, not enough men in a three-point stance for New Orleans, which tells me
You hear some strange calls in this league.
well, it tells me they just weren't ready to go. So with 2:25 to go in the fourth, a 22-point Gladiator lead. Austin has equaled Reeder with 6 touchdown passes. Now you look at the two stat lines of the quarterback. Shane Austin, 20 of 32, 212 yards, 6 touchdowns. Reeder, 17 of 33, 191 yards, 6 touchdowns. But it's just been so much smoother sailing for Shane Austin in this one. He's just had good command, good control of the football game. He spread the ball around nicely. And it's going to be Trevino once again to kick it off. Now you wonder if the Gladiators wind up with this thing again. Do we see Chris Deeker in at quarterback?
Well, it's never over till it's over. You know, what happens if the VooDoo score quickly here, then they're in the same position they just were in. Only one timeout left, though.
So the kickoff coming from Trevino. And it's going to be another nice long one. Trevino done a great job on the kickoffs tonight, taken by Franklin off the netting. Out he comes, and then he gets to the 10-yard line, on his feet to the 20-yard line, and he's taken down. Shy of midfield. 2:13 left in the fourth, 64-42. Gladiators in front. Stick around after every Gladiators home game for the post-game field party presented by University Hospital's Elyria Medical Center. Get player autographs or kick field goals on the field thanks to Hudak Dental. For details, visit clevelandgladiators.com. Always a fun atmosphere out on the field. Go out there, try your hand at a field goal. 3 receivers right side. Reeder first and 10. And he fumbled the football on his own, and that's picked up by the Gladiators. Randy Calling in there. And he recovers, as that one was practically gift wrapped for him.
I would say that that probably will do it. It's one of those plays. Reeder's just, he drops back the pass, and the ball just slips out of his hand.
Went to make the throw, and the ball wasn't there.
Yeah, the ball was not there.
64-42 Gladiators. And, well, you know what's interesting? When these two teams played back on April 4th at the Smoothie King Center, the Gladiators won 70-42.
I was just thinking the same thing. I couldn't remember if we had 70, 71 or 70 or what, but yeah, it could end up being the exact same score. Although I highly doubt it. I think the Glads will be content to try and get some positive yards here and just go home.
Well, we come up on the 1-minute warning. 64-42 Gladiators on top of New Orleans. And with that, we will step aside. Folks, Dustin and I will be right back to close this thing out. Gladiators on top by 22. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions right here on 92.3 The Fan. Welcome back inside the queue. 1 minute to go here in the fourth. 64-42. It's the Gladiators in front of the New Orleans VooDoo tonight. As the Gladiators have the ball at the 19-yard line. And they're looking for more. Brian Reeder drops back to pass. He threw the ball, but like I should say he threw, but there was no ball in his hand when he threw it.
No, it was
the ball
empty,
had fallen
hand.
out, and it was a fumble. Randy Calling picked it up, and the Gladiators have possession as a result. 2 receivers left side. Goodman in motion. This is going to be a handoff to PK Manley, and he looks like he stopped right around the line of scrimmage. 57 seconds left, fourth quarter. New Orleans down to 1 timeout. $20-yard line, so it looks like they may have actually backed them up.
Yeah, I don't think they got positive yards. I think that's essentially a free timeout there. Fans here in the arena cheering as they see the Indians are on top of the Rangers, 5-3.
2 receivers left side, Taylor in motion, and Austin plows it ahead. That'll pick up at least a couple. That time PK Manley got behind Shane Austin and pushed him right through. 43 seconds left.
I don't even think the VooDoo are going to use their last timeout.
So the Gladiators may just need to run one more play, and this thing's going to be in the books. .28 seconds left and counting. Gladiators looking to improve to 5-3. Play clock to 9. 64-42, Gladiators over the VooDoo. And they ran the play clock all the way down.
On the offense, number 10, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
So a delay of game penalty against the Gladiators. They get everything they can out of that play clock. Third down and 16, but that doesn't necessarily matter at this point. Gladiators just looking to close it out. 64-42, the Gladiators in front. 2 receivers left side. Cruz in motion. A handoff to Jeremy Richardson. He plows ahead. He's taken down, and that will do it from here tonight. The Gladiators knock off New Orleans by a final score of 64-42. The Gladiators are 5-3 on the season. Dustin and I will wrap it up when we return. Gladiators football presented by Unique Home Solutions right here on 92.3 The Fan.
Worst jingle ever? Potentially?
Welcome back inside Quicken Loans Arena, where the Gladiators have closed out New Orleans by a 64-42 final score. And it's a big win for the Gladiators here on their home field, and we'll hear from the Gladiators head coach Steve Tunn downstairs in just a moment. The Gladiators are 5-3 on the campaign, so they get the big win here tonight. 64-42 is the final in this one, a 22-point win for the Gladiators, who are now 5-3 on the season. A week from tomorrow, they'll be on the road to take on the San Jose SaberCats, a 10:30 Eastern time start that we'll have live right here on 92.3. The Fan will be back home May 29th at 7 against Orlando. So that's what lies ahead for the Gladiators for the rest of this month of May. The Gladiators winners tonight over New Orleans. Now let's go downstairs outside the Gladiators locker room. We have the winning head coach Steve Tunn with us tonight. And well, the first question, Steve, what worked so well tonight? Because you guys jumped on New Orleans early, just like you asked for early before when we talked before the game, and you guys kept that pressure going all the way.
You know, that was the key. I mean, we really wanted to have a great start tonight, and we came out, scored right on them, and got the turnover. We thought we could have taken a bigger lead there in the first half, but the guys played great. Came back second half, kept that lead, and just never gave it up.
Coach, talk about your kicker. My goodness, he has 3 field goals. He recovers an onside kick. He was money on his kickoffs. You don't usually get asked about your kicker in a post-game press conference, but talk about the job he did.
I tell you what, Adrian, he's had a good year. I mean, he's been bugging me to kick field goals. He hasn't kicked a field goal all year, so he's been bugging me. But it was just the circumstances. We needed the one before half, and then when you have a lead like that, it just kind of keeps that lead. We'd rather get a touchdown, obviously, but we did a good job, getting the field goal, and he was right on. I mean, he was right down the middle every time there. So, Adrian, and on his kickoffs were great, hitting the net every time, hitting the bar a couple times. So, Adrian had a big night for us tonight.
Amari Jackson, a little bit quiet in the first half, but second half really factored in quite a bit. And how big for him was that kickoff return for a touchdown? How big was that for the whole team?
Oh, it's huge because we thought they might onside kick in that situation, so we had everybody up. And I just told them, hey, if they do kick it deep, just make sure everyone try to grab somebody real quick. And luckily they kicked it short that time, and he caught it on the run, and he hit it on the run, which was the key. He didn't dance or anything. And once he hit that seam and beat the kicker, you could just tell he had it. But it was a great job by our guys picking everybody up, and a great job by Amari hitting the thing quick.
Coach, how much did it help having Dominic Jones back there in the secondary, having your leader in the no-fly zone back out on the field?
It's huge. I mean, we all know what DJ brings to our team, and we've always said he's the quarterback on our defense. And not only is he the quarterback on our defense, but he's the hitting comes back. You can just tell our intensity just went up a notch just with him stepping on the field. So it was great to get DJ back, and hopefully we can keep him healthy and keep him going here.
Well, Steve, big win here tonight to finish out the homestand. I know it's a little early to think about it, but going into next week, maybe the biggest game of the year on tap just because of it being a measuring stick against San Jose a week from now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, right now, San Jose, they're 7-0, Philly's 7-0, but they're the team to beat right now. I mean, they're loaded almost at every position, and they're playing well. But I think it's a good time in our schedule to go out there. After a big win here, it's a good time to go out there and, like you said, kind of see what we're made of midway through the season here.
Gladiators head coach Steve Tunn downstairs after a big Gladiators win tonight. Steve, congratulations on the win. Thanks very much for your time.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Gladiators head coach Steve Tunn downstairs outside the Gladiators locker room after